program that set a business for me to give you a brief. Now, the actual vision is to generate long-term value for our business, but we're looking at using locally sourced raw materials. And we've been in the sorghum business for more than 10 years now. We've decided that we were adding on some more commodities. So we added on cassava, and then we also added maize. Now, if you are into the very familiar with the brewing industry, you know that all our raw materials are agricultural based. Barley is the primary raw material, whether in the raw barley or into malted barley. And all that is imported until somewhere 2003. All 100% of our materials were all imported. Currently, we are doing about 80% to 90% import, and the value is huge. I don't want to mention the figure. The keynote speaker said that presents a lot of opportunity for Ghana and for the agricultural industry in Ghana. Now we're thinking that in the next 5 years, this was last year, so in the next 4 years, we intend to move from using only 3,000 tons to about 10,000 tons of locally sourced raw materials. Just before I came, we actually reviewed the figure even upwards. For example, for sorghum, last year we moved from just 1,500 to 3,000, and we're doubling the figure to about 6,000. And for cassava, we're looking at around 5,000 as well, and for maize, another 6,000. When I did a very rough calculation of the value of local raw material that will be sourced in this country, that is anything in the range of about some 27 million Ghana cedis within the next 4 years. So that gives us a lot of opportunities for anyone who is thinking about entering into that space. We've had a number of challenges, and I'm sure my big brother mentioned it. We have a supply chain or a value chain that is very disintegrated. We have actors who don't understand the space in which they act. Interestingly, within our own organization, I mean, we don't even appreciate agriculture, even though we use a lot of agricultural raw materials. And until maybe just 2 years, we didn't have an agric professional within the organization. Actually, I'm the first agric expert to work within DIGO. My boss in the UK was even hired just less than a year ago. So it tells you the perception about the industry. If you talk to anybody, any brewer, they're just waiting for their raw materials. The only time I start getting shouts is when they run out of maybe sorghum or cassava, starch, or maize, or things like that. But I can tell you things are changing now. I will just quickly give the kind of expectation that we are looking for, the kind of professionals that we are looking for. And I'm sure my brother mentioned that we think that we need professionals with a skill set who understand the science and the business of agriculture. I think somewhere in March, one professor said the only business is agribusiness, and the only science is agri-science, and I think I agree with him. But to be honest with you, agri is science. You need to follow the theory. We need to look at how we can increase yields. The only reason why it still makes sense to import raw materials as against local production is because our yields are very low, and because the yields are very low, the prices are much higher. In 2010 or 2011, it cost us 40% more to buy sorghum in Ghana versus importing barley landed in our own warehouses. And it just one thing is called the yields are very low. You have a farmer in the US who's getting about 5 tons per hectare, and when it comes to Ghana, we're getting less than a ton per hectare. And the bottom line is what is the cost per kilo at the end of the day? So you have a farmer who in Ghana who wants to sell, you want to get a price for a bag of maize, and he's compared that probably to maybe 10 bags that he's going to be selling. So these are the issues that we have in Ghana. We just need people who understand these things. And we need people who have the technical skills, who can promote the upstream yields, the productivity aspect of agriculture. But at the same time, we also need people who have the strong business skills, who can do some industrial analysis, who can give out what are the imperatives, where are the challenges, where are the opportunities, and where can the investors invest in. And I like some examples that he gave. We've been trying to work out some credits for our farmers. We started a process somewhere last year, and as I talk to you now, farmers are planting sorghum. Not a single seed has been disbursed yet. As I was coming here, I was getting calls from the farmers. I'm getting calls from the banks as well. And there's that disconnect, and you need people who understand the space. And it's the same thing for even government as well. We need people who will be able to change the environment, who can influence policy to make sure that the right things are being done. We need seed growers who understand that growing seed is business, and therefore we need to give pure seed, high-yielding varieties into that space. So for us, we think that agribusiness professional need to be a jack of all trades. He doesn't have to be a master of all, but he needs to know how to rally all the masters, to drive all the sectors of that chain. That's the kind of person that we are looking for, who understand the banking sector, who understand investment, who understand farmers, and the farmers need to understand what the banks are asking for. Just yesterday, I had to solve a problem between a bank official and the farmer, because the farmer is screaming at the banker. The season is going, I'm not getting my money. And the banker said, but you said in the document, you didn't bring all the mandate, you signed, but the director didn't sign. This is something that we don't understand. The farmer needs to understand that space, and the banker needs to understand the farmer. Thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman, all protocols of the ladies and gentlemen. I'm Ernest Abdul from this Guidance Commission. I'm here to share my experiences on such a great day for this launch of this big program, which is about to take off. And just a brief about Blue Skies before I think I highlight some experiences. Blue Skies is an agro-based processing company. Started in 1989 with about 35 staff strength. As of this morning, we've employed about 1,940 to one site. We operate in 5 countries. We have a factory in South Africa, a factory in Egypt, a factory in Brazil, and a contingency factory in the UK. We process tropical fruits and also deciduous fruits. Ghana, Brazil produce the tropicals, South Africa and Egypt the deciduous. We operate a 24-hour and 7 days operation. We fly on 5 airlines every day, and we supply fruits into about 5 different, 13 retailers in Europe. We work with pineapples, 3 varieties of pineapples, 2 varieties of mango, coconuts, passion fruits, banana, oranges, a little bit of lime and ginger. What Blue Skies have been able to achieve is what I'm about to tell you. I think that the visionary saw that there was a lot of raw materials in this country, and there was no adding of value to all the products that were coming to Europe. It was all being exported whole. So his philosophy was adding value at source, which he thinks is that which is good for Africa. And I think he started in 1999 with pineapples. He started 3 varieties of pineapples. That is with 2 varieties, smooth cayenne and sugarloaf. Then the introduction of MD2. So we are now working with 3 MD2 pineapple varieties. But it's sad to tell you that as I talk to you, we are not even getting raw materials, pineapples in this country. We're sourcing pineapples from Benin, Togo, to complement what we have in Ghana. We also source mangoes. We have only 16 weeks of production in Ghana. We don't have any way of extending it. Apart from Brazil that have all year round mangoes. Ours is just for 16 weeks. But we are the only company in the world that processes mangoes January 1st to 21st December every blessed day. And currently we process about 40 tons of mango a day. So you can see exactly how big the operation is. We also have it very tough with papayas. We are not even not getting papayas enough to feed the factory. We are sourcing papayas now from Côte d'Ivoire, which is also another big setback for us. I think we lost it all because I think we see it to be more of a policy problem, not getting the grassroots people into policy formulation, just to influence policy makers as to things that need to go into it. I think the keynote addresser really hit hard on so many issues that are very real. I was very, very happy when I heard all that comments. And we've been able to grow because the director already had the raw materials here, and he identified a ready market. That is what really people look at, the ready market for the product, which you want to really put onto the market. He just produced the first product and went straight into JS, that is Sainsbury's in the UK. He had already done all the market arrangements, so he started from there. And now we've expanded into so many countries. We are now into Italy, into France, into Holland, into Switzerland, and all the top markets. You can talk about Sainsbury's, Marks and Spencer's, talk about Asda and all the top ones. You go to Monoprix in France, Italy, the Salunga chain. So I think we're supplying all the top retailers in the world, in Europe, sorry. The one thing that he also not left behind was getting a very strong marketing team. Our marketing team is very strong in the UK, and they are able to penetrate the market very strongly. And also a good market research work. We have a research team, and then those that really look for the market. So we have a very good market research team that help us to achieve all that. And our logistic planning is super because you can imagine you flying every day. You have to meet the airline times, you get your raw materials into site, the transportation, storage, everything. It's well planned. If you don't plan logistics well, you cannot be such an operation. So I think that is something that we have really got on top of. And then we also identify all the key actors in the value chain, making sure farmers, input dealers, transportation, especially, for instance, with the plant protection, regulatory services, the customs, the Export Promotion Council for Aviation, the airlines. We have strong arrangements with them. We make sure that if I talk to you, we have the customs right at our doorstep. They are in our factory, we put the post for them. So today, I know the days, we have agreements with the airlines, 45 days to take up before we load our goods onto the airlines because they are all perishables, highly perishable, no additives, no preservatives, fresh cut products only. So we make sure that our arrangements are so strong. If we don't have a good cold chain, I think we have a lot of problems. So I think we have a very strong logistics team that really see to all these things. And we try to also identify all the problems and bottlenecks in the system with all the value chains, making sure that we have clearly defined solutions to all our problems. Actually, even a machine will never break down for just a minute without a hit. You face it very strongly. Make sure that there are backups, everything is ready in place so we're able to achieve all that. And we also believe in training. Not only we have training for our primary producers to get the right quality of crop, and also for the production staff as well. We make sure we identify weaknesses and we build and all problems in the system. I'm speaking now because of my time, sorry. One issue that we also look at is quality. As the keynote addresser said, quality has been a problem in the country. They're not getting the right quality, is really declining. This year, mangoes have been very bad. I'm having a meeting with the mango farmers and so many others on Tuesday to address the issues of mango quality in the country. We are the only company that cuts open mango and see what the quality really looks like. And we're able to feed back to farmers exactly what they need to do to improve upon the quality. So on Tuesday, we'll be at the resource center and so on to discuss mango quality, for instance. And we believe that if you look at quality is not just about seeing mangoes and saying it's sweet. Quality is a consistent application of a standard or a specification. If you don't consistently apply that, it doesn't become quality because there are fluctuations. Quality is consistency in whatever you produce. So I think that's one thing we have to also look at. We also believe in new product development and innovation. We have been the first in the world to put cut pineapples in the market. We were the first. first to put cat mangoes, first to put cat coconut, first to put pomegranate. Everything at all, we have been the leading. If you get information from the fresh cat world, those guys have been a strong innovator and the leader in all products that's been introduced onto the market. We also carry out serious work study on all unit operations, making sure that we get out the best manufacturing practice so that I think we'll be on top of our process. So there's always unit operation studies to know which practice is best, put them together and get the best product that you need. We also adhere to all primary production standards and customer specifications. When I say primary production standards, I'm talking about farming standards like Global GAP. We were the first also in the world to put farmers together for option 2 specification for Global GAP. We've changed LEAF, that is linking environment and farming. This is an environmental standard. We also are welfare conscious. So we have also what we call the BSC, a Business Social Compliance Initiative, which is a welfare protocol, which we adhere to. We are fair trade certified, we are organic certified, we are BRC certified, we are IFS certified. I think we go for all standards. We chase standards, making sure that we be competitive on the international market. Also, I think we have what we call the daily operational appraisals. We evaluate everything that we do daily. Every morning there's a senior management meeting between 8 o'clock to about 9 o'clock, discussing problems, how the products felt like was here the previous day, test them, and then try to add up whatever we think is right. And there is also weekly financial appraisals. We don't wait for monthly or yearly. There's always weekly done. There are weekly flashes to tell you how good you're performing in terms of finances, whether you're going low or going high, for us to really adjust ourselves to be able to produce what you're producing. And we enjoy a very good model, which I think has made Blue Skies what it is. We call it a joint effort enterprise. We believe in employing people from different backgrounds and cultures because we believe that to generate better ideas, we get more skills and experiences from people when they are together. So we don't withdraw from all sectors. Everybody, whether color, race, so we have about 11 nationals working together, and I think it has been a perfect experience working with a lot of people. And in that, you respect people equally because you believe that respect for each other brings people happy feeling, and they do their job with trust, transparency, and fairness. And above all, we operate to make profits because without profits, you cannot achieve whatever you are achieving. So I think with this model, we call our society the seamless society. You don't come to those guys and see general manager of a car park or general manager's office. We sit together in one office, we eat together in one. Everything is done together. There's no distinction. And we see ourselves as a family than as we call somebody a worker. We call ourselves people, staff, but we don't see ourselves as all people. I think that has been the experience of those guys, and that is how far we have been able to come. Thank you very much.
First of all, I would like to thank the organizer of this event for inviting Agra to share also our experience in this field. Jerry, we hear you. You talk about, if I want to summarize, is the transformation of Ghanaian agriculture to unleash its potential. I think it's what Agra tend to contribute to by strengthening the different value chains that we have. And I would like to go further, not just to strengthen, to structure the different value chains so that each actor can play its role. To achieve this transformation, Agra believes that we need a huge investment in the capacity building. That's the reason why Agra has invested in collaboration with the University of Ghana to set up West Africa for Crop Improvement Center in the University of Ghana to really train a new generation of breeders for Ghana and for the West African region. Agra is investing also with the Kwame Nkrumah University, Science and Technology, to train new PhD students on soil science so that to increase the number of scientists in the country. Agra thinks that to achieve its objective, we cannot just stay at the higher level. We need to go at different level of the check. It's reason why Agra is directing investment at different levels, going through the seed system by supporting seed companies, emerging seed companies, new startup seed companies, so that they can really fill the gap that we have in the country. Jerry talked about the Injaro investment. Agra is one of the partners that support this investment, venture capital, investment fund for seed companies across the West Africa region. Agra is also other thing that we need capacity building along the value chain, not only the seed companies. We have different actors. You have agro dealers, you have seed companies, you have agro-processors, you have warehouse operators. All these actors need to be strengthened so that they can play effectively their role in the value chain. But when you look at about the capacity building, for us, as Agra, we are looking at two levels. The capacity building of the direct actors in the chain, but we need to strengthen also the business support services, NGOs, consulting field, and that are helping different actors to accomplish to improve their business. What Jerry didn't tell you when he was looking for seed companies, he didn't tell the whole story, what he found on the ground, what's happening in those companies, how are they managing their resources, how are they managing their system. I think the first thing to say, oh, we cannot fund these people. There's nothing, there's no record, there's nothing to do that. It's not that they are not working, because they are not structured. What can we do? What capacity needs to be given to these people to do their work in the right manner? I think they need to grow. A lot of these people cannot manage their growth. We need to start for one of the key areas that all these actors need to be aware of is to understand the environment, the value chain, and the agribusiness environment, to understand it, to hear the signal, to understand the market trend, so that they can take very informed decision at the right time. I think all these business actors need to be equipped with those kind of knowledge, so that they can really perform this kind of analysis. Another aspect that is really important for us, I think, based on the experience on the ground, a lot of them lack some soft skills to manage their business. You talked this morning about the communication with the banker. If you don't know what is expected from the banking perspective, how can you communicate with the banker? Communicate on time to this banker. All these soft skills, when you go to a lot of seed companies, you go to a lot of processors, the management of partnership with their clients, with their suppliers in the chain, I think this kind of skill need to be strengthened. Another aspect that we think that is very key for these companies is the business model. Because when you look at all these companies that we have on the ground, they need to understand how to really develop their model and to be attractive, to attract interest, either from business support services, from financial institution. I think they can have whatever good idea you have. If you don't formalize it, present it the way to present your idea, you cannot attract interest. I have something in my mind. We are supporting one of the emerging, software company, market information system in Ghana. A young Ghanaian who developed a very wonderful market information platform. But nobody knows about the platform. The last time I asked him, oh, what are you doing? He said, oh, I'm going to follow another course. On what? He told me programming. I said, what are you going to develop again? The product that you haven't marketed, there's no commercialization plan. He said, yeah, you are right. How can I do it? Oh, why not going to a course? How to market, to brand, to work on this kind of thing? He said, you are right. Can you help me to find a training program where I can, it tells you the spirit among the different entrepreneurs that we have. We need to equip them with the right skills. You can be good at the technical level, even some managerial activities, but they need to have this complex. Agribusiness is so complex. You talk about the science, we talk about the business. I think we need to, there's a hybrid that we need this program. And most of those entrepreneurs don't have time to sit for 6 months, 1 year, to sit in the classroom. We need a program that helps them to have the knowledge, part-time program, even online. Some of them need to support online. They can sit in them. They don't want to let their business. We did a survey. Some of them don't want to stay 1 week away from their business. They are right. They want to stay there. We need to customize the training program so that they can participate fully. Having said that, I think we need also not the direct actors of the chain. We need to focus on also the NGO business support services that we have. We need to equip them also. We have a lot of consulting firms who are very good on accounting, business management, but the general. But when you come to agriculture, they need to know the business in agriculture, how to advise these actors. So I hope, I'm sure, and that this program will help us to fill this gap. And I think you can count on AGRA. AGRA is really key, and we want to partner with you in this program and to make it successful. Thank you again for this opportunity.
Ladies and gentlemen, I represent AgriBusiness Resources, and we want to talk about the role of management education in agribusiness. I'm going to skip this, but this was a statement by, in a document from the World Bank that was talking about how Africa has moved from a net exporter to a net importer of agri-produce. And this trend must be reversed. And so I believe that this underscores the importance of this program. The role that management can play has to be emphasized. Now, I believe that the role of management training should empower the agribusiness executives with knowledge and skills to position their companies to be opportunity ready. We want to transform agri in Africa, and so we need to position people to take advantage of opportunities that are around us. Blue Skies amply demonstrates that there's so much opportunity we can take advantage of. And and we need to promote the adoption of financial practices that support every aspect of the organization and its global preparedness to compete. Let's do this quickly. We all know what business management is. It's basically the use of resources to the benefits of the organization to achieve its goals. And this involves managing every aspect of the organization, from the finance, marketing, production, service delivery, to human resource management. And all these administration activities involve planning, organizing, implementing, control, and monitoring. We believe that the reason for people being in business should be a blend of three things. That's economic, that's returns on your investment; ecological, using the earth responsibly; and socially, so that people will benefit. So on this, I'd like to introduce the AMSIC model. Now, AMSIC Resources is an agribusiness. We offer markets for farmers and also serve as a service provider. With our concepts, the farmer-based organizations are the hub around which our activities evolve. And as you can see, the numerous activities that are outlined, from social interventions like the welfare services, the mutual labor support, and then working in partnership for research and innovation. We also do input procurement. Then we do the collective production and supervision and establishment of demonstration fields. Now we also have the management of infrastructure and machinery. We operate the 1,000 metric ton warehouse, and at which all these activities are offered. So it sort of offers a one-stop shop for the farmer. You come to our facility and you have access to all these things that are highlighted. We support aggregation of their produce, and we work mainly in the rice and maize value chains. And as you can see, the gold yellow part, it's emphasizing the market, and that is what brings returns to everybody, not just us, to the smallholder farmers as well. Now, as you can see, all these activities will need to be managed. And so, and all this activity, for it to be sustainable, has to be planned. So there's a business planning component of what we need to do. And there's the management aspects of the value chain and supply chain logistics. There are market dynamics that we need to manage in relation to the producers and all the other value chain players. And then also the financial risk management for sustainability. If you overlook that, you would not go far. Now, I'd like us to discuss the AMSIC case. Now, AMSIC resources emerged or became prominent in the agribusiness industry as a result of having to train 5,600 farmers in the North and Ashanti regions. And we had 2 years to do this. So we recruited 35 personnel. And 32 of these were fresh graduates with agri background. 2 were postgraduates, 1 with finance and the other with agri extension background. And we had 1 agri-econs postgraduate student. So, and we were able to achieve this within the time frame. Now the question is, how did we do it? We have 91% of our staff, 92% of our staff being fresh graduates. As the rector said, they came out with agri skills. But everything we saw in the circle has to be managed. Now, what we did was, and at this stage I must congratulate GIMPA because I'm an alumni of GIMPA. I was a pure science student, and when the need arose, I came into GIMPA to do my executive master's, and it was then that I got to appreciate the other sectors of business. So thank you, GIMPA, for training me. And I'm applying what we taught me. Now, with the fresh graduates, what I did was we promoted an organizational development approach where people are matched to the best of their capabilities. And it was also an opportunity to train them on the job. You're challenged to learn something new, do something new, and find solutions to what you had to do. And even though this served as a shortcut to management training, because people were doing new things, and each time, I remember one catchphrase I used to say was, I'm not running a nursery school, so go and search for it. You are graduates, you should be able to look for information. And that's how we used to train them. Now, over the time, it's really worked, but then it was a very tiring approach, considering the fact that I had the overview of all the other the key aspects of running a business. And we're streamlining our operations, and we're using a blend of the functional, hierarchical function and cross-functional activities. Because we realize that the cross-functional activity still works good in our setup. Now, managing our financial needs. We had the operations to manage. What we did was we operated an impress system at the sites. We're operating in 2 sites, in fact 3 sites, Accra, Ejra, and Tamale. And can you imagine impress being as big as 5,000? No. And we put in reporting systems where people had to draw down and account for everything on line items. And it was very challenging because sometimes when you have to collate to find out what's happening and analyze, it became difficult because the personnel did not have the skill, the requisite skill to do that. Now, when it came to working capital management, we used the just-in-time inventory system where we don't procure, we don't hold, because in any case, we didn't have any infrastructure till last year to do such things. Now, when it came to capital investments, that's budgeting, we never did. We didn't budget for anything. We worked on a day-to-day thing. We need to go, go, go. Then when it came to financing, project financing, this is a new thing we started, where we're using the banks to finance some of our activities, and also offering inventory credits to our farmers. And I must say that the key activities AMSIC is in now is as a result of the outcome of a training needs that the farmers expressed. We went out to address the challenges. One key challenge was the market. And as we went to provide markets for them, one thing led to the other, and that's how our business evolved. So we're still a learning organization. We're now structuring and as Abdul said, trying to put in structures and identifying the model to operate. Now we use an integrated financial system that manages our operations. We have a software package that now allows real-time activities to be collated at the head office. Now, in agribusiness, there's the need for treasury functions, which we do in-house, and then credit analysis, compliance with statutory requirements.